This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I've shared my screen, you can see, right? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Start. Just a second. Okay, so in the last class we discussed about the sequence generator transformation. Sequence generator transformation is used to generate the sequence values in the target. Okay, that is the mainly use. Apart from this, we can also generate the cyclic numbers, and we can start generating the sequence numbers from one for every run. Okay, and also there are logical scenarios we discussed in the last class, right? Okay, so today we will start with the joins. Okay. Okay, so today we'll start with the joins. Till now, we have seen loading the data from a single source to a single target table. Also, we have created the mappings to load the data from single source table to two target tables and three target tables, right? So we have loaded the data from single source to multiple target tables also. Okay, now today we are going to start with extracting the data from multiple sources and loading into a single target. Okay, so we will use two tables as our source. Okay, and we will join those two tables. After joining, whatever the result we get, that will load the data into the target. So these joins are very important in real time. Also, many of our scenarios, not only extracting the data from a single table, we will join two tables, three tables, four tables, five tables, 10 tables. Like that, we will join the tables by writing the join queries, and then after writing the join query, whatever the result written by that query, those records we will be loading into the target table. Okay, so for that we will create a mapping and we'll see how to do that. Fine. So first, let's start with the normal. So here in SQL, so before discussing the Informatica joins, first let's understand what is join and how it will work. Okay. So in SQL, we have four types of joins. These are the SQL joins. Okay. So we have normal join, left outer join, right outer join, full outer join. Like that, there are types of joins. In interview also they may ask, tell me how many types of joins are there in SQL. So you have to say we have four types of joins, and these definitions also very important. You have to remember the definition. They may ask, tell me what is normal join, what is left outer join, what is right in outer join and full outer join, like that they may ask. Okay, so first normal join. What is meant by normal join? Normal join means it returns only matching records from both the tables. Normal join, it will return matching records from both the tables. That is a normal join. Okay, so here I will show you what it means. Now, so these tables, now we know the database structure, right? First database type will be there. Under that we will have the database. Under that we will have the schema. Under that we will be creating the tables. Okay. Now here we have employee table and this is department table. Okay. So these two tables I have to join, and whatever the result we get after joining, that we have to load in the target table. Now there are three tables. All these three tables we have the same system schema only. Employee department, and this is employee department target table. Okay, so first we have to join these two tables. Okay, so let's start with the join by using the normal join. What is normal join? Or we also call it as the inner join. Normal join or inner join, both are same. So what is meant by normal join, that we will discuss. So normal join it returns only matching records from both the tables. Only matching records from both the tables. That's the definition. And here we have the query, normal join query. So you have to write query like this. Normal join query. Select star from, this is the table, first table, empj underscore yes. I have given the table name like this. J means join. Okay. So empj underscore j underscore yes, that is the table name. And then space e. E. This is called, what we call this one, name. Okay. So if you are joining two tables, okay, corresponding to each and every table, you have to give the alias name. Alias means dummy name. Okay, so for this employee table, here I have given the alias name as E. Okay, and then join. So we have to write the join. To join employee table with the department table, we have to use join. So this is department table. So select star from employee space E join department table. This is the second table. Okay, and then for the second table also we have to write the alias name. So this alias name for the second table D. Okay, so select star from employee J underscore yes alias name E join DPT underscore J underscore yes, that is the department table alias name D, because remember, not only here, wherever you are using more than one table. Okay, wherever you are using more than one table, then in that case you have to use alias name. Next to that name you have to write dummy name alias name. Okay, on, next on we have to write, and this is join condition. So after on we have to write a join condition. This is called join condition. In join condition you have to use the alias names. E dot dno is equal to d dot dno. What it means, to first of all, to join two tables there should be a common column in both the tables. Without common column we cannot join two tables. I repeat, to join two tables, there should be a common column. Without common column, we cannot join table. So tell me, in these two tables, employee and department, what is the common column we have here? Department number. You can see department number we have in employee table, and also we have department number in the department table. I repeat, first of all, to join two tables, there should be one column. Okay, that common column we will use in the join condition. This is called join condition. Okay, so here E represents table, D represents department table number is equal to D dot department number. Okay, suppose let's say if you are not going to use the alias names. Okay, so if you are going to use the table alias, then we have to write a query list. Select star from empj underscore yes, this is our employee table. Suppose let's say I'm not using the alias name, then dpt underscore j underscore yes on. So in place of we write the complete table on this empty table dot department number is equals to, and this department table dot department number. So this is how we have to use the, we have to write a query. If you are not going to use the alias name, here you have in the join condition you have to write full table name, right? So now here instead of writing the full table name we have just written e dot. E represents that employee table, right? So if otherwise you're not going to use the alias name, you have to write the full table name in the join condition. So here we have table name, like we have only 5 characters or 6 characters of employee name, whereas in real time you may have 20 characters of employee name or 30 characters of table name. So if you have that much of big table name, so while writing the table name here there may be chance to write the incorrect spelling. So that is the reason, instead of writing the full table name here in the join condition, we'll just use the alias name as e here, and wherever we want to use that table, instead of writing the full table we will just write the alias name and the same way for department table also we'll give the D. Then here instead of writing the department table, we'll just write D, so that so it will refer. D means it will refer to the department table. E means it will refer to the employee table. So like that we can write a join query to join two tables. I repeat, to join two tables, first of all, there should be a common column. First of all, there should be a common column. And here in these two tables, we have department number is a common column. Based on the department number, we will be joining two tables. So for that, we have to select star from empj underscore s space e, and we have to use join. After first table, we have to use join department d on. So on is common. So after a table, two table names, we have to write on, and then this is the join condition we have to write. So this is the format of writing the join query to join two tables. Now, as soon as we execution of this query, what it will do is, so since we have written star here, star means it will display all the columns from both the tables, all the columns from both the tables, and based on this condition, it will join. Now here, what it will do, E dot department number, right? So it will take the employee table department number and it will look for the matching value inside the department table department number. So is this 10 with 10 matching? Yes, this is matching, right? So since 10 with 10 it is matching, so you can see the result is this. Query result is this. So here, let me write the result once again. So as soon as we execution of this query, normal join query, since we have written star here, it will display all the columns from both the tables. Employee number, employee name, department number one, and department name. So here you can see we have DNO only, but why I have written DNO 1? Because already we have DNO. Okay, so we displaying, it will not give the same name, it will give DNO 1. Okay, so like that all the columns from both the tables. Remember, after joining two tables, in whatever the tables we have used in our query to join two tables, and if we have written star, star represents all the columns from both the tables it will display. Now here we have got total 5 columns. Out of 5 columns, first 3 columns are from employee table, second 2 columns are from department table, and then the result of this query will be matching record. So based on the join condition, now 10 10 is matching, so it will return the first record, n10 hr. So like that it will return the first record. Next it will take the same 10 and it will check here. So this 10 it will check with 20. Is this matching? No, it is not matching. Then it will compare with the 10 employee number 10. It will check with the third record department number. Is this matching? No, it is not matching. Next it will take the second employee number here and it will check in the department table first. So all the three, it will compare with all the three values. First it will compare with the first value. 20 with 10, is it matching? No, it is not matching. Next 20 with 20, is this matching? Yes, it is matching, right? So normal join or inner join means it returns only matching records. Matching means based on the join condition, whatever it is matching, only those records it is matching. Now for the second record, it is matching 2b 20, and here matching record 20, corresponding 20 department name is accounts, like that. Okay, this is the second matching record. Next what it will do, it will take this 20 and it will compare with the third row department number. Is this matching 20 with 40? No, it will take the 30. 30 with 10, is this matching? No. 30 with 20 matching? No. 30 with 40, is it matching? No. Right, they are not same, that's it. So we don't have any other records to compare, so we have only 2 records matching. Okay, based on the join condition, it will not compare all the other column values, it will compare only joining column values. Department number only it will compare, so it will take the department number from employee table and it will compare with the department table department number, right? So here 10 10 matching, 20 20 matching. So like that it will match, and whatever the matching records we get, those records only it will display. This is the inner join, or we also call it as a normal join, right? So let me execute the query and show you. So here I have already created the table with the same name. Select star from emp underscore j underscore yes. Okay, so this is our employee table I have created. It is executing. Now you can see we have 10, 20, 30, right? Okay, so in the employee table, I have the department number like 10, 20, 30, and then department table. DEPT, J underscore yes. This is department table. I have also created the department table with the two columns, department number and department name. And the way how here we have 10, 20, 40, the same table only I have created here. And you can see we have same department number and department name 2040 I have same. Okay, so first table I have 10, 20, 30, second table I have 10, 20, 40. So like that I have created two tables. Now I am going to write this join query, normal join query. So for that, select star from emp underscore j underscore yes, alias name e. Okay, in, and we have to write the department table the eptg underscore yes, alias name d on e dot department number is equal to d dot. This is a query to join two tables. Okay, now if I execute this query, we will get the join result. Query is executing. So based on the department number column, it will join two tables, and we have got the you can see here we have got the query result matching records from both the tables DNO and O1. Okay, and only 10 matching in those two tables and 20 matching. The same here I have written out. Only the matching record from both the tables. That is normal join or inner join. Okay, so what is normal join? It returns only matching records from both the tables based on the join condition. Okay, so in the join condition, here we have employee number 10 and it will take in the department table for the employee number 10. We have, sorry, department number 10. We have only depart one row with the department number 10, that only it will display. And then 20 also we have only one matching row in the department table, that only it will display. But for 30 we do not have any matching row. So since we do not have any matching row for 30, it will not display anything. Only 10 and 22 records we will get. That is normal join. Next we'll move on to the another type of join, which is left outer join. So left outer join means all the records from the left side table and only matching records from right side table. That is the definition of the left outer join. So these definitions you should not forget, very very important. So what is meant by left outer join? All the records from the left side table and only matching records from right side table. So what it means? So here I have written the definition of the left outer join. All the records from the left side table, the matching records from right side table. The query we have to write like this. Same query, in place of join, we write left join. So for the left outer join, we have to write left join or left outer join, anything is fine. So as per the definition, it returns all the records from the left side table, right? First we'll understand all the records from left side. It returns all the columns from both the tables: employee number, employee name, department number, number one, department name. Now all the records from the left side table. You can see. So all the left side table. First table. The first table we have, that is left side table. The second table we call it as a right side table. First table is a left side table, and the second table is right side table. First table means employee table, first table in our query. Okay, that is the left side table, and the second table, department table, is a right side table. Okay, so as per the definition, all the records are left side table. Now you can see employee table, whatever the records we have, 10, 20, 30, 1A 10, 2B 20, 3C 30, all the records we have in the left side table, and only matching records from the right side table. See, you can see here only matching records. For 10 10 we have a matching, for 20 20 we have a matching, for 30 we do not have matching, but we have got the null values here because it should have to return all the records. Okay, all the records from the left side table and only matching records from the right side table. But for 30 we do not have matching. That is the reason we have got the null values here. Null means nothing, empty. Okay, that is outer join. Let me write the query. Same query, in place of join we should have to use left join. So left join means all the records from the left side table. You can write small letters, capital letters, anything is fine. Now if I execute this query, you can see all the records from the left side table and only matching records from right side. Right side we have only these two are the matching for 10 and 20, and for 30 we do not have matching. We will get the null value here. We call this as a null. Got it? Okay, this is left outer
Yes.
join. Left outer join means all the records from the left side table and only matching records from right side table. For 30 we do not have matching. That's the reason we have got null values here. Okay, next up. One second. Okay, so which name? There is a question. How did you get the name of the name on the bottom? Which name? How did you get the name? Which name you're asking about? Viraj, e-name. So this e-name, how I got me? First, I have created the table, right? So here in employee table, I have created the table with these three columns: employee number, employee name, department number. Right? First, you have to create a table with these columns and insert few records in the employee table, and then create a department table. Okay, so with the same department number and department name, insert few rows in the department table also. After that, so here I have written a join query, normal join. So from those two tables, it will return only matching records: employee number, employee name. Star means it will display all the columns from both the tables. So first the three columns from employee table and the second two columns from department table. Based on the join condition, it has displayed only the matching records. And whereas the left outer join, all the records from the left side table and only matching table. So for that we have got all the 10, 20, 30, all the records from the left side table, and for 10 and 20 only we have matching in the right side. That's the reason we have got values for this, and there is no matching for this for 30. That's the reason we have got the null value. Got it? Okay, so this is normal. This is normal join and the left outer join. Okay, next up. Next we have right outer join. Right outer join means all the records from the right side table and only matching records from left side table. So here I will execute the query. Same query, in place of left we have to write right join. Right join means now it will display all the records from the right side table, department table, and only matching records from employee table. Okay, so execute. So you can see here now we have got all the records from right side. Right side means department table. In department table we have 10, 20, 40. So we have got all the three 10, 20, 30, 40 we have got here. alright, and only matching records from left side table. So how many matching records we have in the left side table? So we have only two, 10 and 20. So we do not have any matching for the 40. That's the reason we have got the null values here. Got it? Clear? So this is right outer join. And we have another join which is full join. Full join means both matching and non-matching records from both the tables. Now if I execute this query and see here, first two records are matching records from both the tables, and the last two records are non-matching records from the left side table and non-matching record from right side table. Got it? So this is how we have to use these joins. So it depends on our requirement, we will be using these joins. So you have to practice, you have to write a query and understand the output, how it is returning the output. Okay, so if you understand the output, then only you will be able to understand. Got it? So like that, here it will return matching record from both the tables and non-matching record from left side table. Got it? So this is about joins. Now these joins, how we will use in Informatica. Now we know about the joins. Join means we can join two tables or three tables. Here we have started with joining two tables. Okay. So after joining two tables, whatever the result we get, that we have to load into the target table. Now target table also created. Select star from EDT, employee department target. So you can give the table name like this, E underscore D underscore T. Okay, so and here in this target table, you have to create a table with 5 columns. ENO, ENA, E underscore DNO to load employee table department number, D underscore ENO to load the department table department number and the department name, right? So there are total 5 columns. Now what I have to do, I have two source tables and this is target table. For these two source tables at the end you have to give underscore yes. Okay, so by seeing this name you will understand which is the source table and which is the target table. Otherwise you will get confused if you don't give yes and t at the end. Okay, total 3 tables you have to create like this. In two source tables, you have to insert the data and execute command, and do not insert any data in the target table. Okay, so now what we have to do? So we have to join these two tables, employee and department table. We have to join. After joining these two tables, whatever the result we get, that we have to load in the target table. So now I want to use the first normal join query. So this normal join query result I want to load in this target table to Informatica. I repeat, what we are going to do here is, so we have total 3 tables, employee table, department table and EDT table. So we have to join these two tables. After joining two tables by using this normal join query, whatever the result we get, that query result, these two records, we have to extract, transform and load in this target table. That is the requirement. For that, we are going to use Informatica now. So first, since our source and target tables are ready, so what we have to do, we will be importing the source definition and target definitions. So how many source definitions we have to import here? How many source definitions we have to import? So we have to import 2 source definitions because we have 2 source tables. Go to the menu sources, import from database. Connect. So, and then open this, select this source table, click on OK, so that employee source definition will be imported. In the same way, we have to import another source definition which is department. Same in the source analyzer only. We have to import another source which is department table. Okay, so here we have to enter the department table name, connect. Okay, so like that I have imported employee and department like this. Two source definitions I have imported, and then go to the target designer, clear all. We have only one target here, so select this target table, copy, and we'll go here, targets import from database, then enter the target table name here, username system, password system, connect, system tables, EDT. So we have to select the table, target table. Target table always we have to import in target designer. Imported the target definition. Okay, so after that we have to go to the mapping designer to create a mapping. Okay, so we have to go to the mapping designer to create a mapping. Once we are under mapping designer, go to the menu mappings, create m underscore emp underscore dept underscore join source to target load. Okay, so like that we can give the mapping name, click on OK. After that we have to drag and drop two source definitions here. Okay, generally till previous mappings we drag and drop only one source definition. In the mapping we'll have one source definition and one source qualifier, right? Now since we have two sources, we have to drag and drop empj underscore yes one source definition, deptj underscore yes another source definition. You have to drag and drop. So if you drag and drop two source definitions, you will have two source definitions and two source qualifier transformations, and then we have to drag and drop one target definition. Target is EDT, employee department target. So we have to drag and drop like this. Clear? Okay, so we have two source definitions and two source qualifiers and one target definition we have. Okay, so after this, now what we have to do, we have to join these two sources, and after joining these two, whatever the result we get, that we have to load in the target table. So to join, we have a query, right? SQL query we have here. So now this SQL query I want to use inside the source qualifier transformation. We know inside the source qualifier we have a property to write the SQL query, right? So if we write the SQL query, whatever the records we want, only those records it will extract, and those records only it will load into the target, right? Okay, so we have a SQL query. That SQL query we have to write inside the source qualifier transformation. Now we have two source qualifier transformations. In which source qualifier do we have to write this query? Do we have to write the query in the first source qualifier, or do we have to write the query in the second source qualifier? That we will see. Suppose let's say now I will write the query in the first source qualifier. Before writing the query, always we have to select the ports here and connect it to the target definition. Then only we have to write a query inside the source qualifier. Now open the source qualifier, right click edit. Okay, and then go to the properties tab. In properties here we have the SQL query field. So here we have to write a query to load the data from source to target. Okay, so like that we have to write a query inside the source qualifier transformation. Now what I did here, from the first source qualifier I have taken all the ports here, copied it to the target definition, and then I have opened the source qualifier, and then I am trying to write the query here. Okay, so after writing the query like this, select star from emp underscore j underscore yes, join dept on e dot department number is equal to e dot department number. Now can you tell me this query, since I have written star here, how many columns this query will return? How many columns it will display this query? If I execute in SQL developer, tell me this query will display how many columns? Any guess? How many columns this query will display? I have executed 4
Three
5
columns.
times.
5 columns.
All the columns.
3 columns. Matching
How many?
columns.
How many columns?
All the columns.
All the columns.
I need the number. All means what? How much?
Three columns.
Three columns. Okay. Any other answer? One answer is three columns. That's another answer. Right?
Five columns. Five columns.
Five columns. Right? Not the three. It will display five columns. Okay. Here I have shown you, right? So I have executed this query. So if I execute this query, it will display five columns. Can you see how many columns are there here? So I have written star. Star means all the columns from both the tables. Employee table contains three columns. Department table contains two columns. 3 plus 2, 5. We have got five columns. Employee number is the first column. Employee name second column. DNO is the third column. DNO 1 is the fourth column. DNA is the fifth column. Five columns this query will display. Okay, how many columns? How many columns this query will display? Five columns. Why five columns? Because in our query we have two tables. First table contains three columns. Second table contains two columns. 3 plus 2, 5. All the columns means all the columns from both the tables. We have five columns. Okay, fine. Now here, okay, after writing the query, so we have to validate whatever the query we have written, whether it is valid or not. So for that, if I click on validate, you can see we are getting the error message. Can you read this error message? Query should return exactly three fields to match the fields projected from the source qualifier. What it means? Query, whatever the query here we have written, that query should return exactly three fields. But our query is returning how many fields now? Fields means columns. How many columns it is returning? 5. But query it is saying it should return exactly 3. Why it is saying exactly 3? Because from this source qualifier, how many we have connected here? We have connected only 3 columns from this source qualifier. Okay, remember this is important point. Okay, from the source qualifier, whatever the number of ports you have connected to the next transformation, okay, your query also should exactly select the same number of columns. If you have connected 3 columns from the source qualifier, query also should display only 3 columns, not the 2 columns, not 4 columns, not 5 columns. It is going to be invalid, right? So if you have connected from the source qualifier 10 columns to the target, then whatever the query you are returning inside the source qualifier, so that star represent all the columns, so it should have to display exactly 10 columns, not all the columns from the table. If you have connected 100 columns from the source qualifier to the target, then your query also here it should have to display 100 columns. Got it? So now we have connected 3 columns, but our query is selecting 5 columns, which is invalid. We should not write a query in the first source qualifier. Okay, it is not matching. That's the reason we cannot write. Okay, so delete. So can we write the query in the second source qualifier? Can you tell me? Can we write the query in the second source qualifier now here?
No.
No. Why? Why we can't write?
We have only two sources.
We have only 2 columns here, right? So if I connect 2 columns from this source qualifier to the target definition, and if I am going to write a query here, our query will return 5 columns. We want all the 5 columns to be loaded in the target table. We cannot make the changes in the query. Query should be there in select. There should be star. Because I want all the 5 columns. So because in the target definition we have 5 columns here, I want to load all the 5 columns data. I cannot select the 2 columns or 3 columns in the query. So query should select all the 5. But here, if I write that query, we have connected only 2 columns, and the query will return 5 columns. Again, it is going to be mismatch here, and we cannot write the query inside the second source qualifier also. Got it? So we have a property to write the SQL query, and we have 2 source qualifiers. We could not able to write a query in either of these source qualifiers. Then what do we have to do? Where do we have to write that join query? Okay, so for that what we have to do is in these 2 source qualifiers, what you have to do to join these 2 sources and to write the join query, You have to select any one of the source qualifier, either first one or second one, any one you have to select. Now I have selected the second one and then press the delete button in the keyboard. If you press the delete button in the keyboard, it will ask you all the selected transformation will be deleted. Continue. Yes. You have to delete one source qualifier. Okay. You should not delete the source definition. You have to delete the source qualifier. And after deleting the source qualifier, whatever the deleted source qualifier corresponding source definition ports we have, these columns we have to select and drag and drop to the first source qualifier. Like this, you should have to join two tables. Okay, always you have to delete one source qualifier, deleted source qualifier, corresponding source definition ports we have to drag and drop to the first source qualifier. And now, can you tell me, can we write a query in this source qualifier?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Why? Why we can write the query?
We have all the 5 columns. This
Exactly, right? Because we have 5 columns. Now I can select all these 5 columns from the source qualifier and I can connect here. Now from the source qualifier it is passing 5 columns and our query also will exactly return 5 columns. Now if I open the source qualifier and if I go to the properties and if I write a query here, it is going to be valid. So let me copy the query from here. So it is going to be valid. So now if I enter the username password validate, it will display no error. See, last time we have got the error message, query should exactly return 3 fields, but now no errors because from the source qualifier we have connected 5 columns. Our query also exactly it will return 5 columns. So it should not be one less and it should not be one more. Exactly the same number of columns whatever we have connected from source qualifier, query also should return exactly same number of columns, then only it is going to be valid. So like that, to join two tables, what we have to do is we have to delete source qualifier and deleted source qualifier corresponding source definition ports. We have to connect to the first source qualifier and then join. That's it. Now we have a join query. So this is how we can create a mapping to join two sources and load the data into the target. With this we have done with the mapping. For this mapping we will create a session task, workflow, and then we'll execute and see the output. So let me copy the mapping name from here, and this is our target table, right? So after execution in this target table we will get the data. Open the workflow manager. This is workflow manager, and then task developer. Here we have to create a session task. Okay, so like that we have to give the mapping name, create, and from this list we have to select the specific mapping. The first mapping only we are for this mapping only we are creating the session task. Click on OK, done, and workflows create mapping. So click on OK, and from open the sessions folder, select the session, drag and drop, and then link task. Save. With this everything is done. Now let's start execute. As soon as we click on start flow, first the source qualifier query will execute join query. It will join two tables based on the join type. Join type is a normal join, and then we have after normal join, and then it will send the records to the target. Now we have got like this, and few of you, by default you can see this one, right? Gantt chart. So this screen you can see succeeded, right? So you will not see this other screen. So if you want to see other screen, you have to click on task view. If you click on Gantt chart, you can see this view, and another view is task view. So anything is fine. So if you want to get this view, then you have to click on task view. Okay, and then select, right click, and get run properties. If you click on get run properties, here it will display how many records it has read from the source, how many records it has loaded into the target. Now you can see each source table, employee table we have 3 records, department table we have 3 records. But since we have the query inside the source qualifier transformation, that query has written 2 records. That is the reason it has loaded the same 2 records into the target table. Got it? Clear, right? Okay, now to see the output, so we'll go here, we'll execute this target table query. So that we can see these two, the same inner join two records, whatever we have seen by executing this inner join query, the same two records we have got in the target table. Got it? So that's how we can use Informatica to join two tables, extract, transform, and load the data into the target. For that, we can write a query inside the source qualifier transformation, and that query will extract those two records, transform, and it will load those two records into the target table. Clear? Okay, fine. Now, what we will do, we'll use the same mapping to see left outer join and full outer join outputs. Instead of creating the another mapping for the left outer join, okay, so now this mapping we have created for the normal join, right? Okay, now the same mapping we'll use for the left outer join. So for that, what we have to do, same source table, same target table. Now go to the mapping, right click, edit the source qualifier and properties. Here I want to execute the same mapping for the left outer join. So for that, what we have to do, what changes we have to make in here inside this query? What changes we have to make inside this query for the left outer join?
We have to select left join default.
Okay, in place of join, we have to write left join, right? Only that change. So here we have to write left space. So this spaces and all very important. You have to see carefully where we have to give space and where there should not be space, right? Okay, these spaces are also very important. So like that, we have to write a left join here. Okay, now validate. This is no errors. Click on OK. Apply. OK. So same mapping I am using for the left outer join also. Go to the menu repository. Save. After making the changes, we have to save. Okay, and then what you have to do is go here, session task. Go to the task developer. After creating mapping session workflow, again if you have make any changes inside the mapping, so you have to go to the session task, right click, and you have to select the refresh mapping option. Then only this session will point to the latest mapping which we have made the changes. Got it? So if you don't select the refresh mapping option, now this session will be pointing to the first mapping, which is normal join, right? After making the changes, again you have to always, if you have creating the session task, if you have make any changes inside the mapping, so here you have to come back to the session task, right click, refresh mapping. Now as soon as you select the refresh mapping, now you can see on top of this session task we have got brown down arrow, which represents yes, now this session is pointing to the latest mapping which we have made the changes. After that, you have to save this session task, control S or save, so that that brown arrow will go, and now this session is pointing to the latest mapping which we have made the changes for the left outer join. Okay, fine. Now it is ready to execute. So if I execute the same, since it's the same mapping, same session, same workflow, already this target table contains these two records, right? Okay, again to this two records it will add the left outer join result, right? So if I execute the same mapping, same session, same workflow, for the same result, again it will add the left outer join result. Okay, but what I have to do is I have to delete these two records. I don't want to have this normal join output, because now I am going to execute the mapping for the left outer join. So left outer join result I want to see in this target table. Okay, for that I want to delete these two records. Can you tell me what are the ways we have to delete these two records before we load the left outer join result to this target table? Can you tell me what are the ways we have to delete these two records before we load the latest, left outer join result to this target table?
Truncate.
Simply, if you write truncate, it will do. Where, what we have to do? Where do we have to write the truncate? So full sentence you have to give, not one word answer. What is meant by truncate? If you simply say truncate, it will delete all the records. Where do we have to write the truncate? right? All these things you have to tell, not single one word answer. Yes, go ahead.
To delete the previous records and to write the new records in the table.
Okay, for that what we have to do?
That we have to write the query, truncate table from employee JSE
Okay,
something.
where do we have to write the query?
In SQL developer.
Okay, so one answer is, so we have to write a truncate table name query in SQL developer. If you write, okay, then it will delete these two records, right, permanently. Okay, this is one way. Okay, can you can others can tell another way? Is there any other way to delete these two records before we load the left outer join result to the target?
Source qualifier.
Not one word answer. What is source qualifier? Source qualifier, I know source qualifier. What is source qualifier? What we have to do in source qualifier? Full answer, full sentence, not single word answer.
You can write a truncate query at source qualifier.
Where? Again, I have to ask where. Source qualifier, there are many properties. Where we have to write?
Post SQL query. In source qualifier, we have to write the query in post SQL.
Okay, hold on. Imran, can you please continue?
You can write a query at pre-SQL property of source qualifier.
Exactly. Okay, that's the answer. Not in post SQL. We have to write, so like that you have to give the complete answer, not a single word answer. So we have to write a query in source qualifier under pre-SQL. Okay, so what is the difference between pre-SQL and post-SQL? We already discussed, right? In the first class only, I explained the same scenario. That's the reason I have asked for this one. Before loading the data, there also in pre-SQL, we have written the truncate query, right? So if you go back to your first class scenario, okay, so there I have shown you where we have to write the query. So why we should not write that in a post-SQL? Why do we have to write in pre-SQL? Because post-SQL query will execute after loading all the records from source to target table. At the end of the execution, post-SQL query will execute. But what is our requirement? Before loading itself, before loading the data into the target table, okay, so before loading this data into the target table, I don't want to have these two records, and then I want to delete these two records and then load the latest data. For that, so first step, we have to delete all the records from the table. So you can see here, before loading the source data into the target, we have to truncate and load. We have to truncate these two records. For that, so we have to write a query in pre-SQL truncate table name, right? So like that, we have to write a query in pre-SQL. If you write a query in pre-SQL, then it will truncate the two records from the target table, and then it will extract whatever the data we have in the source, and it will load into the target. But you should not forget. Okay, so as I told you, every day before you attend the class, you have to do the revision from the beginning. Whatever we have learned, you should not forget. Okay, and also the terminology, the sentence formation is very important. You have to give complete answer. Okay, in interview, if they say only, if you say only source qualifier, then you know the answer, but you are not giving the full complete answer. You have just given one word answer. Okay, so what interviewer will think? So you don't know the answer. You have just given a source qualifier. Source qualifier is not the right answer. You have to say the complete sentence, right? Okay, fine, perfect. So in pre-SQL, we have to write a truncate query so that it will delete the records from this target table before it loads the left outer join result. Okay, so one way is directly you can write a truncate query here so that it will delete those two records. The second way is we have to write a query inside the source qualifier transformation. Okay, so in pre-SQL to truncate the records from the target table before it loads the left outer join result into the target. That is second way. Now the third way to delete the records from the target table, we have to go to the session task, right click, edit. Okay, and then go to the mapping tab. Under mapping tab, we have to select the targets. Okay, under targets, we have the target definition. We can minimize this so that right side we will get the properties. Target definition properties, we have to go here. We have a property called truncate target table option, right? So without writing the query in pre-SQL, also without writing the query in SQL developer, just simply if you enable this checkbox truncate target table option, automatically it will take care. Before loads the data into the target table, it will delete all the records from the target table, then it will extract the data from the source and it will load into the target. So that is the meaning of truncate target table option. So this is also another important property. In real time also, many of the times if you want to delete the records from the target table, whole records, all the records from the target table, then we have to enable this truncate target table option so that it will be deleted all the records from the target table permanently. Okay, apply. You no need to write a query in pre-SQL for the truncate. So if you have requirement to truncate the target table, just come here in session task, under mapping tab, select the target definition, enable this checkbox. Okay, automatically it will take care. So that's the use of the tool. Okay, so very less we will be writing the queries here. So many of the things automatically will be taken care by options. You should have to know which property we have and when do we have to use this property. Okay, that you should have to remember. That is the advantage of this tool. That's the reason for non-IT people also this is easy to learn. So even though if you don't know how to write a truncate query, so here you have the property. At least you should know where do we have the property and which property we have to select to truncate the target table before it loads. At least if you remember this thing, then immediately you can come here and you can enable this checkbox, even though if you don't know the SQL. Got it? Okay, so remember this property. This is another way to delete the records from the target table. That's it. Click on OK. Save. After, if you make any changes, you have to save. Now it is ready to execute. Right click, start workflow. As soon as you click on start workflow, since we have enabled the truncate target table option, it will delete all the records from the target table. Those two records we have, normal join result, that it will truncate and then it will load the left outer join result. Get run properties. Now you can see we have three records. The query has written the same three records loaded into the target table. Now this target table will have only left outer join result, which is nothing but all the records from the left side table, 10, 20, 30, and only matching records from the right side table. This is what we have seen by executing the left outer join query result. Got it? So this is left outer join. In the same way for right outer join. So again, if you want to see the output of the right outer join, just right click, edit, go to the properties and make the changes here. In the query, in place of ref, you have to use right join. Okay, and then validate. No errors. Click on OK, apply, OK, and then save. Go to the menu repository, save. Saved. Now what we have to do? So since we have made the changes inside the mapping, we have to right click on the session task, a refresh mapping. You have to select the refresh mapping and then go to the menu repository, save. And then, so already we have enabled the truncate target table option. It will truncate the left outer join result and then it will load the right outer join result in the target. Okay, so we have got three records and now the target table we have. This target table, you can observe the right outer join. All the records on the right side table, which is department table. You can see 10, 20, 40 are the rows from the right side table. And in left side, we have only for 10 and 20 matching. That's the reason we have got this record. For 40, we do not have any matching. That's the reason we have got the null values. Got it? This is a right outer join result. In the same way, so you can do it for full outer join. So same for full outer join. So we'll just change here full join. Apply, OK, save, and then come here, right click, refresh mapping. Whenever you make any changes, you have to save. Right click refresh, now start execute. So this will have records now we will get in the target. It will truncate the left outer join result and then it will load the full outer join result. You can see it has failed the execution. So if there is any failure, you can see the failure information. Okay, so full join. Let me check the query. Go to the properties. Here we, oh, query has removed. Don't know how come here the query has. So full join query here I have written. So this is the full outer join query, right? So remove this one. This is the full join query, right? Validate. Click on OK. OK. Apply. OK. Save. Okay. Now here go to session task. Right click. Refresh mapping. Save. So since we have made the changes in the mapping, we have to select the refresh mapping. Now start the workflow, started execution. So it is running now. Here we can see the output. Okay, now you can see it got succeeded. Read 4 records, loaded 4 records into the target. Now this is our target table. If I execute this query, we'll see all the 4 records from both the tables, matching and non-matching. That's it. Okay, so these are the 4 types of joins we have in SQL, and we have seen in Informatica also how we can join 2 tables. Suppose, let's say I have 3 tables to join. There are 3 tables to join. Okay, now here you will have to import 3 source definitions and you will have 3 source qualifiers. Out of 3 source qualifiers, how many do we have to keep and how many source qualifiers we have to remove? Any guess? How many we have to keep and how many we have to remove here? If there are 3 source definitions and 3 source qualifiers,
We have to delete 2 source qualifiers.
exactly. So we have to delete 2 source qualifiers, right? So we have to delete 2 source qualifiers and keep only one. Whatever the 2 source qualifiers you have deleted, corresponding 2 source definitions, we have to drag and drop and to the first source qualifier. So in that scenario, in your mapping, you have 3 source definitions and 1 source qualifier transformation. And from that source qualifier, you have to connect to the target and you have to write a join query. If there are 10 tables to join, and you will be importing 10 source definitions and 10 source qualifiers. And in your mapping first, you will have 10 source definitions and 10 source qualifier transformations. Out of 10, how many we have to keep and how many we have to remove?
We have to keep 10 and we have to delete 9.
Exactly. So we have to keep only 1 source qualifier and we have to delete 9 source qualifier transformations. Okay, keep only 1, delete 9 source qualifier. Whatever the 9 source qualifiers you have deleted, corresponding 9 source definition ports, we have to drag and drop to the first source qualifier. You'll have 10 source definitions, but only 1 source qualifier will be there. All the 10 source definitions columns you will have in first source qualifier, in the one which you have kept here, in that source qualifier you will have. And before writing the query, you have to give the link from source qualifier to the next transformation or a target definition, and then only you have to write a query there. That's it. So that's how we have to join the tables. So for now, you practice these 4 types of joins and then we'll continue tomorrow. Fine. So that's all for the day. We'll stop here today and then we'll continue tomorrow with another types of joins. Clear? Any questions? Okay, and one more thing. So I know few of you still not started practicing. Okay, so it would be difficult to understand if you don't practice. Okay, so I request whoever have not started practicing, so please start creating the mappings immediately. Okay, so you have the recording, go through the recording once, twice, thrice. Still, if you don't understand, I will be available. So you can WhatsApp me or you can call me. Okay, as soon as I check, I'll reply to you. Okay, still, if you don't understand the Informatica first or second class, okay, the basic what you can do is, so we have weekend batch also. Okay, so for weekend batch, tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, we'll have only weekend session. Okay, so for those people, tomorrow I am going to start Informatica uh, first class. First class means I have already created the mapping. So from source qualifier onwards, I am going to explain in the weekend batch. So if you any one of you are interested, okay, to listen once again from the source qualifier, you can also join on weekend session. Weekend class will be night India time, night 8 to 11, 3 hours. Saturday 3 hours and Sunday 3 hours. Night 8 to 11. Okay, so if you want to, if any one of you are interested to again start listening from the beginning of Informatica, so you can join. Otherwise, anyhow, you have the recordings. You can also go through those recordings. Still, if you want to join the live session from Informatica first class, then you can also join on weekend session. So if you are interested, you just let me know in WhatsApp. I will send you the link to join the weekend session. Weekend India time, night 8 to 11 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, only 2 days weekend batch will be there. So there also you can join if you are interested to listen once again. Otherwise, anyhow, every day I am sharing the recordings. You can also download the recordings, go through the recordings, and do the practice. Fine. That's all for the day. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.